We are joined now by Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 78 5-Hour Energy Bass Pro Shops Toyota. Martin, take us through your lap out there.
Yeah, it was a good day. Both rounds come up just a little bit short. So felt like I know where I lost it in round 2 there. Just missed one corner by, 6 inches and got a little too much curb, and then it hurt the exit. So feel like I lost some time there, and then somewhat made a little bit up the rest of the way around, just come up a little short. But overall, a really good day for our team. And yesterday I felt really good about our car, and felt like it was better in race trim than qualifying trim. So that's a good sign to start up front, and hopefully we can get them tomorrow.
Open it up for questions. Start with Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. I'm wondering, so you're obviously not going to be in the middle of this tomorrow, but there's some guys that are really strong starting in the middle of the pack, like
Yeah.
Kurt, Boyer. How strong do you expect them to push the issue early, knowing that there's a stage break coming up? Like, are we going to see them be like super aggressive early on to try to get their track position back?
I think they'll go as hard as they feel like they can early on. This place here is a lot of tire management, so I think they'll probably start passing cars 6 or 7 laps in a lot faster than they do the first couple, I would imagine. Typically here the good cars shine on long runs, and I imagine they'll be patient until the field strings out and the guys start falling off. But you never know what they might look at strategy-wise, and it'll make the strategy more difficult for the guys up front when there's fast cars in the middle of the pack. So it's going to mix things up for sure.
Go to Don on the left.
Martin, they had an oil down at during the qualifying for the companion race, and then that quick dry. Did that affect you in the first session?
It didn't affect me. It affected the way the qualifying session went, without a question. You could see that nobody wanted to get on the racetrack, and the guys that all went early were really slow. So it's really unfortunate when those kind of things happen. We only have a 25-minute session. You get down to 15 minutes to go, or something like that, and everybody's starts to get real antsy. But you can't jump the gun and go too early, or you'll be in trouble, which we've seen some guys do. So it's just one of those things. It's really difficult. I wish they would have done a better job cleaning the track up. But it appeared they didn't have the equipment needed for it. The only way to really get the rest of it off when they were done was to run cars on it. Unfortunately, it was qualifying.
Go back to Jeff.
So given what you're talking about with the tire management stuff, would you expect this to be another race where the veterans are favored over the younger guys who don't have as much experience in doing that kind of thing for a whole race like this?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You never know who's going to surprise you. We've seen it before where a guy will just take to this place really well early on, but typically it's the guys that have been doing it a while. I felt like I was a pretty good road racer when I came to the Cup Series, and it took me probably 3 years to really figure this place out. So it's definitely tricky. These cars are different animals with all the horsepower, and then this track with the way it eats tires up. So it's there's a chance for a few guys to surprise, I think. But the track will be a lot more challenging tomorrow than it was yesterday, and that's where it'll be surprising to a lot of guys.
Over here to the right.
Martin, related to that, track temperature could be a little bit cooler tomorrow. They're saying in the weather forecast. I just wondered for a road course and the conditions here, what difference that might make for you.
Yeah, I'd say it'll definitely make a slight difference. Typically I would say that if the weather stayed the same, the track would be a little slicker tomorrow. With it cooling off, I'd say it'd probably be similar to yesterday. More cars running, more rubber down, things like that kind of just make it a little bit slicker. So I think tomorrow the conditions are going to be great, perfect for a race here, and be nice to have a little bit cooler temperatures for the fans.
In the front.
Hi. You talked about it took you about 3 years to get this figured out. You have one here. What were the things that you really had to master to get that win?
How to get the most out of the car without abusing the tires. That was really the key. And then just figuring out what it takes to be better throughout the race. You can do certain things in practice and think your car is pretty good, and then you go to the race and you learn after 20 laps into a run, you learn that it wasn't as good as you thought. So it's a lot of it's experience, not only behind the wheel, knowing what to feel, but experience with your team on what you bring here setup-wise and things like that. So I think for us, being that we've been coming here together as a group year after year, it's really paid off for us. I feel like, last year I thought we had the car to beat without question, and lost an engine late. So we've been strong here the past 3 years, 4 years, and we've been able to play off of those notes and that experience. Not only me, but also the crew.
Go back to Don.
Mark, when you say you missed it by 6 inches, I mean, that's something that says how fierce the competition and how close it is.
Oh, yeah, well, no question. I mean, this place is so technical with the way the curbs are and the grip in the track. I literally was 6 inches too far to the right. My right front tire just caught that too much curb in one spot and threw me off probably 2/10. So it's a really tricky place, and that's why it's so hard to learn.
Do we have any questions upstairs?
No questions upstairs.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined now by Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 DC Solar Chevrolet and our pole sitter for this weekend's race. Kyle, back-to-back poles for you. Talk us through your lap out there.
Yeah, it was a really good second lap there, or the final round. I thought I ran a really good lap. So I figured I would have ran you in the 75-second bracket. I just didn't know kind of how quickly. So when I saw the 75-70 pop up on my dash, I knew that'd be a good lap, but I didn't know if it was the pole or not. But once I knew I was ahead of the 78, I figured the 47 would probably be the only one that could beat me. And I'm not sure where he messed up his lap, but he wasn't able to get the pole. So cool to do it. We picked up a lot of time from the first round into the second round. So the car had a good balance the first round. So I don't know what they adjusted, if anything, but it was good for the second round. I was just able to attack the braking zones a little bit more, rush the throttle a little bit quicker on the exits, and it paid off. So felt like I ran a fairly smooth lap, and happy to get the pole.
Open it up for questions. We'll start with Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Why do you think that you're good on road courses? I mean, I don't understand what about your skills could possibly translate from your background to this. Is it like adaptability and quick learning? Like, can you explain that?
Well, I think you can look at like Jeff Gordon, who's obviously really good here, Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, and all of our backgrounds of racing sprint cars and stuff. And then I don't think you'd be that surprised for me being that fast here, I guess. But there's just something about sprint cars. I think the way that the suspension works and the car moves around a lot more. I think in this, even though it's not doing the same thing, you can still feel the car a little bit easier and feel the suspension load and tire load and use that to your advantage, I guess, a little bit. And maybe it's just makes us more comfortable. So even though I don't think even though I know we didn't grow up doing this stuff, just I think the way that suspension feels is more similar to a sprint car than a cup car on oval where we're just stuck solid to the track and you don't really feel any roll in the car. Like when you're going through a corner and it's starting to yeah. Well, just like when you say you exit a corner and you get on the gas and like you feel the car kind of rock back, like that feels similar to dirt stuff. When you a wing sprint car, go in the corner and you load in and you just fall on the left side or something. You just feel the car a little bit better and you're comfortable, I think, with the amount of travel that the car has.
Next, we'll come up front to Bob.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Last year you started on the pole, led some laps, but not the greatest finish. Did you leave here feeling good about this place? And do you carry, I don't want to say momentum from a year ago, but did you learn enough from having a good fast car a year ago to win tomorrow?
No, I guess, because we were really fast in qualifying last year, obviously with the pole, and then we were terrible in the race. So I don't really know what to expect for tomorrow, but I feel like the balance of our car yesterday in practice was a lot better than what it was in the race last year. In the race last year, I mean, I couldn't even turn. Like I would be off the gas, turn the wheel, and I would just drive straight off the track. I had no grip. Where I felt like in practice yesterday, our car actually had a better balance on it. It was more similar between each corner around this place, where last year I didn't really have much of a balance in race trim. So I don't think we have winning speed tomorrow, but neither did Tony Stewart the year that he won, and I'm sure there's other years where people won that they didn't have winning speed, but were able to get the job done. So I think as long as we can keep ourselves in position tomorrow, catch some breaks, I think we'll have a good shot.
Gentleman in the front.
Hi, Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Kyle, it's supposed to be cooler tomorrow. How do you think that's going to affect the conditions and your chances specifically?
Yeah, I don't know. This place eats up tires, so I don't really feel like the temperature. You're gonna have a handful regardless whether it's 40 degrees or 100 degrees. I was surprised today isn't very hot at all. I think all week you kind of look at the weather forecast, and I thought it was gonna be scorching hot, but it feels great outside. So I think I'm from California, but I've spent enough time in the South that 100 degrees here is not a big deal. 80 degrees there is a lot hotter than 100 degrees here. So I don't think I think your race out here in the dry weather is good for us. Temperature doesn't really ever bother me.
Second row.
Donna Beth Wildman, Venetia Herald, Martinez News Gazette. Cale Yarborough picked Jeff Gordon out of a crowd early on and said, "Watch that boy, he's going to be good." Jeff Gordon said something very similar to you. In fact, just recently he compared you to Cale Yarborough's driving. What do you think about that? What do you think are the similarities? And do you think you're carrying on in a good tradition?
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool to have Jeff Gordon compare me to him. I mean, I've honestly never seen any races of Cale, so I don't really know how my driving style or whatever is similar to his or whatnot. But anytime you can get compared to anybody who's a legend or in the Hall of Fame or whatever, it's special and it means a lot to me. So I'm thankful anytime I get compared to anybody who's good.
Hi, Kyle. Peter Fournier with the Press Democrat. Just want to get your thoughts on the first round of qualifying and the track conditions with the speedy dry.
Yeah, I think we were all, or at least I was a little concerned with all the speedy dry over there. Even if it doesn't affect the grip, it's still in your head and you can see it and it affects you. So, I wouldn't say I tiptoed through there, but I was a little more cautious the first round through all the speedy dry and through the S's and stuff. But then, once you get through there after the first round, it seems fine. You can kind of just forget about it the second round, and I think that's what it did.
Do we have any questions upstairs?
No questions upstairs.
Any further question? All right. Thank you.